Yeah, okay, so let's talk about wealth because wealth is a little bit of a kind of taboo subject in Australia, I find. A lot of people don't like to talk about wealth as such. And you know, wealth means different things to different people. So I want to just touch on a few thoughts around wealth and a few thoughts around why we are in business and what it is that we're looking to create. So, you know, when you think about money, you hear a lot about manifesting money, you know, about having a money mindset and being able to attract money to you, having faith in, you know, the universe to deliver and all those sorts of things. And you need to have visualization and you need to have all those positive elements that people talk about, which are all fantastic. But, you know, there's another universal truth that is kind of hard to dispute, and that is that if we simply visualize things, that doesn't necessarily manifest them. Okay, I can sit on the couch and visualize myself, you know, breaking the 100-meter world record, but that in itself is not going to manifest that result, right? It's not going to manifest that outcome. So whilst I'm a big fan of, you know, positive visualization and having clear goals and feeling that you are succeeding and having all those positivity elements, we also need the commitment every morning to get up and hit the track and do the training and make sure that we actually do all the things that will create those outcomes in our business. Now, I know that the group of people I'm talking to tonight is a little bit unique. You know, this group's a bit unique because you are already committed. You're in the blueprint programs. You're doing things, working on your business in a way that a lot of people I work with just don't have that structure and those resources and that advice and that guidance. So you're already a step ahead of the game. So that's a fantastic thing. But so I want to talk about sort of making financial freedom a reality of your business. Now, I don't know what wealth means to you. It means different things to different people. For some people, wealth means, you know, $1 million cash in the bank. For other people, it means being able to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. So, you know, somewhere on that spectrum will be your view of what wealth means to you. And I'm not here to tell you what it should mean to you, but whatever it is, it's really about, I guess, if we had to boil it down, never having to worry about your finances effectively, never having to worry about whether you can do something or should do something, or whether you have the option to do something. And you know, if you want to take your family on holiday, if you want to, you know, send your kids to better schools or set them up in their lives as they get older and what have you, if you want to take some sort of big steps towards your goals, then the reality is dollars are going to have to be an important part of that. So in terms of financial freedom, one of the biggest barriers, I think, is our mindset and our relationship with money. Yeah? I don't know about you guys, but I grew up in an environment where it was a scarcity mindset. Yeah? Money was difficult to get. You had to work hard for it. You had to save, and you had to sort of put the money under the mattress, you know, to make sure that you had enough for a rainy day. That was the mindset that I was brought up with, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a sec. Wherever you are right now from a wealth perspective, it's important to understand that that doesn't define your situation, or doesn't define your destiny, if you like, from a wealth perspective. There are things you can do, there are actions you can take, there are steps you can take to ensure that you start to improve your position and you really get your business to a point where it starts to contribute to your life in the way that it should, and you get that flexibility and that ability to change things. So I want to make that, you know, that financial freedom a reality. You've heard the expression that some people have too much month left at the end of the money. Yeah, so we get to the end of the month and we go, gee, there's still a few days left and I don't have a lot of cash to work with. Interestingly for me, having moved in the last few years from just working on people's businesses to looking more and more at their finances, I found it very almost disturbing, I guess, how many people are living kind of day to day, week to week. And it's a very stressful situation for people. It's, you know, when I literally had clients in tears talking about having to check the bank balance before they can fill up the car, you know, that sort of stuff. So it's not a good situation for people to be in, and obviously we want to relieve that and we want to start to build that. So if your business is cranking along and you're making good money, what do you do to start to build some wealth and start to create a financial future that will take you where you want to go? There's a few things. First of all, you know, and this sounds really fundamental, I know, but the first thing is to understand your current situation. And that almost sounds like it's, you know, blatantly obvious. You sort of go, well, surely I know my current situation. In all the discussions I have with people, most people don't know their current circumstances financially. When I say they don't know in detail. So they're not really across all of their bills and their cash flows, and they're not really across their super and their tax and you know what they spend on a month-to-month basis. Now, I'm not going to tell you to set up a budget because I'm terrible at budgets. Not a fan of having to fill in things every time I buy something or whatever. That just doesn't work for me. Okay, I do a P&L for myself each month to kind of go, well, what's coming in, what's coming out. I don't mean for the business, I mean personally. For the family, I kind of do a P&L for each month to know what we're required to do, but I don't go filling it in during the month and doing that sort of stuff. It's just more to give me a guide of what I need to be achieving to move to where I want to go and move to where my goals are. So the first thing is get a plan. You know, have a focus on where you want to be and start to get that plan in place. Set some sort of budget. At least know the rough numbers that you need for you. I'm sure you do it in your business. Most people don't do it in their lives. Have a think about this for a moment. How many years do you have until you want to retire? For some people that might be a long way away. I'm not sure about the mix of ages we have on here. We've got some Gen Yers who are quite young. They're probably retirement seems like a hell of a long way away. It's actually not. It sneaks up on you pretty quickly. For people who are getting to their 40s and 50s, it becomes a real kind of area of focus to go, well, okay, if I don't want to work for another 20 or 30 years, how do I actually start to set myself up to achieve that? How do I make my business kind of self-sufficient? And then how do I set myself up to have all that? The third thing is get some help, get some professional help. It really amazes me that we'll go to a travel agent to organise our holidays, but we won't get help in organising our financial future. So there's plenty of stuff out there. Get out there, do your homework, do your research, find some people to work with that will help you. And the other one is to really start to focus on debt. Debt is a really interesting beast. Yeah, it's a necessity in some respects, but there's good debt and bad debt, which I'm sure you've heard about. But it's focusing on that debt that really hurts you over time is really important. So being able to sort of line up the things that are costing you the most and then systematically eliminate those things is really important. It takes some focus, takes some effort, but that's what it's all about.